Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is probably one of the four best players in all of basketball. You see his numbers are up there. Every year, he has MVP style numbers, high usage rate. But here's the problem with Luka. Here's the biggest problem with Luka. Is that Luka, when he was in Dallas, all the talent in the world, but he found the cheat code to be able to be effective. When Luka got into the league, Luka was a guy that was 6'7", 6'8". He would get to the basket, creativity. He would have an occasional step back, but there was a lot of blow by ability that allowed him to be great. Explosiveness going to the basket, relentlessness, had that moxie and that it factor to be able to take the last shots. That's what Luka was early on in Dallas. And then, like I said, he learned this cheat code that you can be able to do this step back 3-pointer and you don't necessarily have to do much. So your conditioning drops because you don't necessarily have to be out there killing yourself because all you do is foul hunt. That worked a while in Dallas until it didn't. And now you're in LA and you're doing the same shit. Luka is being called out by several people in the media. We're not gonna name names, but there's been a lot of people that said that some execs in the league, some people that are covering the game, they're just looking at it like Luka is costing the Lakers a lot more games than they are comfortable with at this point. Now, I'm not saying that that's a fact. It's a report. It's a rumor. But the proof is in the pudding. It's literally right there. Every time you watch a Luka Doncic game, I, as a Laker fan, find it very, very difficult to watch a Lakers game. Just because Luka's going to be out there, he's going to dribble, take a step back three. Dribble, take a step back three. Dribble into double team, and then that's when he's going to kick the ball out. It's not basketball. The fact that you can be able to do that on one end and then the other end have no idea or no care or no concern how to be able to stop anybody defensively. So you whine to the refs. You whine to the point where the play is over and you're still talking to the ref while the basketball game is going on. So your man sprints down court and gets an easy layup because you're crying about a call that happened 30 or 45 seconds ago. So at some point, Laker fans have to understand what this is. And it took me a while to get here, Silent Assassin, but here's what I'll tell you. Here's the truth. For as long as Luka Doncic is a Laker, the Lakers will never win an NBA title. I have to be honest. His style of play is unwatchable. What he does to the game is unwatchable. And the sad part about it is that the Lakers are stuck because it's either you ride this out with Luka or you go ahead and you put him on the trade block. But at the end of the day, if you keep him, then your head coach is now pacified. He's now circumcised. He can't do what he wants to do because you have a guy that only can play one way. If you can only play offense and you have no other skills, you can't play off ball. So now I need to make sure that if you're going to be in the game, I have to have Austin Reeves try to take over the game and then you get the ball. It's like you have to constantly have the ball in your hand to be effective. That's easily to be game planned for, and that's exactly what's going on with the Lakers. Everybody knows how good and how talented Luka is, but what does it matter when you have a one-dimensional superstar that doesn't understand the concept of playing both sides or even having the offensive awareness to be able to spread the ball around and give it to guys that at least you're giving them the shot clock that's more than 10 seconds. When you give somebody the ball less than 10 seconds, they have to act quickly, put up a shot quickly. This is what's been happening with the Lakers. To the poor possession where they didn't even get a shot off. All of a sudden, you want to be apprehensive. As a Laker fan, I'm telling you right now, I don't have confidence to this team to do anything, especially with Luka being here. I just don't see it. Do you trade him? Possibly. But the issue that I have is that you have an incompetent GM. And I would rather have the bad player than the bad GM that's starting from scratch, that literally has to go draft players to try to fill out this roster and try to find himself a new superstar. That's hard to do with an incompetent GM. But at least if you're an incompetent GM and you have that guy as a superstar, it's always going to be a dangling bait chip for you, isn't it? So you don't necessarily have to do that much work, do you? No. So that's my issue, is that Luka is Luka. He's never going to change. He went ahead and got his body in order. He was on the cover of Men's Health. Looked very, very slim. Still, I'm sure he's still in pretty good condition, but at the same time, is his cardio up? Can you tell him to shut up when he's out there? Because if you don't, then all he's going to do is just talk to the refs and completely bury himself in regards to trying to get calls. So what is he really trying to do? What are the Lakers' plans for building this team around the Luka Doncic? Because if you go ahead and you go sign Austin Reeves, now you have to pay Austin Reeves top dollar, and now you have roster concerns in regards to how to build that team out. So, looks bleak for me. I don't have much optimism this year. And that's because Luka and his style of play have literally made one of the most desirable franchises and historical franchises pretty much a purgatory joke. I always talk about it, right, Silent Assassin? It's either you're up here or you're way down here. Any team that's floating in the middle, it's not where you want to be. Because you're not bad enough to get any good, significant draft picks. And you're not good enough to be a legit NBA title contender. So you're just a faux pas. And you go ahead and you'll maybe lose in the first round or find some way to advance to the second round and get exposed. It sucks. It sucks to know that as a Laker fan, I seen a championship in 2020. That's the last one. But that wasn't led by Luka Doncic. That was led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And a whole bunch of good role players that understood their role. And nobody bucked the system. They didn't complain to Frank Vogel. Everybody bought in. They bought in 100%. And they ended up hoisting a trophy because of it. Interesting. That if you just comply with your team in regards to what they're asking of you, you end up getting the rewards back somehow. Lakers are just wallpaper. They're just window dressing. They don't mean anything. They're not going to have any type of significant run, and LeBron James will leave. And that's the part that sucks, is that you're wasting another year of LeBron James at the peak of his powers. So